Hi, my name is Gordon Fivig. I graduated in 1956. I live at Ulen, Minnesota. I worked 30 years for Northwestern Bell Telephone Company. And my hobbies are ham radio, flying, and photography.
My name is Karen Fivik. I graduated in 1957. I live at Ulen, and I did work at Merit Care, but am retired now. And my hobbies are sewing and our grandchildren.
Okay, very good.
I'm Charlotte Baumhofer Rodewald. I graduated in 1959. I now live in Detroit Lakes. My spouse's husband is Wallace Rodewald. I was a nursing assistant at a nursing home in Detroit Lakes for 30 years. I retired about a year and a half ago. And I had 5 children. And I loved crochet and sew.
Hang on. I'm Wallace Rodewald, and I graduated from Detroit Lakes High School in '57. And I met Charlotte here in Ulen. I was at the Wahpeton School of Science in Wahpeton, North Dakota, in the diesel course, and Basil Forsyth, the Alice Chalmers dealer from here, was looking for a man, and so I took a ride back with him, accepted the job, and then went. He gave me a ride home to our farm at Callaway, and I was here for about a year working, and that's where I met Charlotte Baumhofer, my wife, and from there on we moved to Detroit Lakes. She wanted to move to a bigger town, so that's where we ended up. We're still in Detroit Lakes.
Okay, I'm Jim Skrine.
He graduated in 1956. We live in Colorado, in Aurora. I am Liesel. His occupation was engineer. We have 2 children, 1 grandchild, and hobbying is ham radio operator. Military service in the Air Force.
Ron Evans, 1952. They kicked me out. I graduated. I live here in Ulen, and my wife's name is Twyla, and we graduated from high school together. Occupation that can't be answered. I did everything you can imagine, from airplanes to boats, you name it. Military service, Navy.
Rachel Sorensen Brecky. I graduated in 1972. I live now in Edina. I've lived in Georgia, Alabama, California, Michigan, Texas, 5 months in Korea, and I'm back in Minnesota. Norm Brecky is my spouse, and I am in administration at Baker Tilly Virchow Krause CPA firm in downtown Minneapolis.
Nadine and Joanne Nichols.
Year 19.
Holy, Minnesota. Oh, I already said her name. Retired.
Okay, yes, my name is Olof Haugo. Graduated in 1957, and we live in Hawley, Minnesota. My spouse is Diane Asleson, class of 1960, and occupation, retired, and I love it. So, okay.
I'm Diane Asleson Haugo. I graduated in 1960. I live in Hawley with my husband Olaf. I worked as a registered nurse for several years and am now retired, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Ready? Avis Pollock, Bjerke, 1954. We live in Omaha. Name of spouse is James Pollock. And what was my occupation? Office work. Is that okay? All right.
Hi, my name is Marjorie Burris. I used to be Forsyth, and I graduated in 1951. I live in Litchfield, Minnesota, where I've lived for about 47 years. And this is my husband, Russ. And I worked several occupations. I was a medical technologist, and then I became a teacher. And I taught in high schools, and I ended up teaching at the college in Wilmer. I taught psychology. I have 3 daughters, and they have all moved to the Twin Cities, so they're very close to us. And I'm really happy to be here today to see all these familiar faces.
It's a friend of yours. Hi, my name is Russ Burris. I graduated in 1948, and I live in Litchfield, Minnesota. I was a county agent for 23 years, and then I spent 14 years as state director of Farmers Home Administration in St. Paul. That's after I got involved in politics and got all corrupted, you know. And I'm retired now, and I go south for 3 months of the winter time. I have 3 daughters. And they were scattered all over the country, but now all 3 have moved back to Minnesota, so we're lucky like that. I served 4 years in the Air Force and loved the flying, so I bought my own plane and flew for many years and still have a pilot's license. My hobby is golf and hunting. I like to go hunting deer. And I have 6 grandsons, no granddaughters, but I had 3 daughters, so I kind of filled the thing out okay. Thank you.
My name is Arlie Clementson. I graduated from Ulen High School in 1949. I have lived in Moorhead, or south of Moorhead, for the past 20 years. Marilyn Sather Clementson is my wife. I'm a retired insurance adjuster. And I'm still working off and on just to keep active. I have a lot of hobbies. Building this and doing that. I was in the Air Force for 4 years, and that's about it.
Hi, I'm Bob Bromander, and 61 years ago I graduated from high school here in Ulen, and I live on the farm where I was born. A midwife came in, so I haven't gotten very far in my life. I was in the Army for a couple of years, otherwise I've been here, so. Okay.
My maiden name was Lila Rickus, Lila Anderson, and I married Sam Rickus. I graduated in 1942. I live here in Ulen. And of course, my spouse's name was Sam. We lived on the farm until we moved into town, right here in Ulen.
My first name was Edelyn Rickus, and I graduated in 1946, and was married in 1952, and we lived in Lake Park for 45 years, and my husband's name was Torrey Olson. We had we farmed, and we had a dry cleaners, and we had food business, tacos, lefsa, tortillas, and I live in Detroit Lakes now at the present time.
Edwin Wagner, 54, Elbernette, Iowa. I'm single, technician, Collins Rockwell. Not anymore.
Okay, Robert Amundsen, or generally Bob Amundsen. We live in Chicago, Minnesota now, and my wife is Mary Ellen, and I'm retired from the ministry, and during the winter time we do volunteer tax aid for senior citizens.
And you graduated?
Okay, graduated in 1956.
We have 4 children and 9 grandchildren, and our youngest daughter just adopted 3 kids this last 3 years, so it's been kind of a new experience for us.
Okay.
I'm Dwayne Amundsen. I graduated in
1953. I live here in Ulen right now. This is Beverly, my wife. We have 4 children. 3 of them live in, 2 of them right around Ulen, 1 by Hawley and 1 by Muscatine, Iowa.
I'm John Syverson. I graduated in 1956, and this is my wife, Diane. We are presently residents of Texas, living in Mission, Texas, and we spend our summers in Park Rapids. I was an airline pilot, and I was a pilot for the Air National Guard in Fargo. That's correct. And I spent some time in the North Dakota Senate, and right now we do a lot of volunteer work for a food shelf in Park Rapids, and I have volunteered as a driver in the Rio Grande Valley for the Shrine, which carries Mexican kids from the border up to the hospital in Houston. And I'm thoroughly enjoying full retirement.
I actually grew up in Montevideo, Minnesota, and then when I was in junior high, we moved to Moorhead, and so I went to high school, junior high and high school in Moorhead and college.
My full name is Smiley Momskog, but everybody calls me Dwayne. I graduated in 1951. I live a mile and a half south of Flum in Walworth Township. I've been a farmer since about 1950, retired about 10 years ago. Got married when I was 46. I'm kind of a slow mover. Been married ever since. And that's about it. He was asking me if I had any horses at all. I'm way down on the horses. I'm down to 17 of them now. And they're going on their way to market. Okay.
I'm Eldon Moore.
And I'm Shirley Moore.
And I graduated in 57.
I graduated in 1958 from Elbow Lake, Minnesota.
And we live over by Flum. And my spouse's name is Shirley. And I've always been a farmer. And we have 4 boys, 2 girls. And we got 12 grandkids.
Okay. Ready as I'll ever be. What am I supposed to say? Okay, I'm my full Ingeborg Ron Alselson. I graduated in 1942, and I live in Moorhead. Roland is my husband, but he's deceased. And, of course, I'm retired. Not too much. I kind of was, yeah. And I have, I love to read and do crossword puzzles, and I did rose mowing, and I have 5 daughters and 10 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. Good enough?
Hi, my name is Wayne Baumhofer. I'm a class of 1954. I now live in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I am married, and my wife's name is Annie. My occupation was parts department manager for a Klein Oldsmobile Cadillac in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I am retired to a lifestyle I've adapted to real easily. I have 2 children. I have 4 great-grandchildren, 4 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. I served in the military 1956 to 1958. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm Harlan Armbrecht. I graduated in 1954, and I've lived in Fargo really since graduation, with the exception of 1 year when I did graduate work at in New York City. My wife is Sharon, She's not with me today. She's going to come up tomorrow and go to church. I've been an architect since I graduated from NDSU, and as a matter of fact, I taught at NDSU for about 15 years also in Department of Architecture and Landscape Architecture. We didn't have any children, but now last 15 years or so, we inherited international grandchildren. And so we've kept busy with them. We like to travel. I had the opportunity to join a seniors band about 7 or 8 years ago. So I play in a seniors band and play the drums, and it's a lot of fun. Anyway, it's good to be back here for the reunion.
My name is Hilda Snyderman, and I graduated in 1954, and I live in Moorhead, and I also live at Ulen. I was CNA at one time, and I retired in 1994.
Okay, my name is Clifford Helgedahl. I graduated in 1959, and I live right here in Ulen. And I married Janice Knudsen, and I worked at the seed plant at the elevator for 45 years, and had 3 children and got 4 grandchildren, and I was in the military from 62 to 64, and I was stationed in Germany at that time. So, that good?
I'm Ruthie Rasmussen Baker, and I graduated in 1954, and we now live in Alexandria, Minnesota. And my spouse is Jean Baker. We've been married 7 years now. And my occupation, well, I worked at Palmyra for 10 years and different things. I worked at a clothing store for a while and have 3 children. They're girls, and they're all married, and I have 8 grandchildren. And my hobbies, it's quilting and pictures. Yes, pictures is what I really like. I got 75 albums now. So.
Orpha Clementson Schultz. I graduated in 1955. I live on a farm by Ulen. I'm married to Jean Schultz. I was a teacher for a while, and since then I've been a homemaker, and now we're retired. We have 2 children and 1 grandchild.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Hilda Snyderman. I made a mistake on my retirement year. I retired in 2004.
Okay, Justin Clementson, graduated in 1948. Lived around Ulen almost all my life, still live here. My wife's name is Muriel Hansen. They live just east of town. I was a farmer most of my life. We have 5 children, 4 of them living right around Ulen, Hitterdal here. Served in the Air Force during the Korean War, 51 to 53. And some of the hobbies are hunting and fishing and restoring old tractors, I guess. That's about it.
Thank you very much.
I'm Luther Munson. I graduated in 1945. This is my wife, Ivanelle, who lived in Iowa. And I was a clergyman for 30 years in Wisconsin. We have 5 children and hobbies. My wife is big in music, and I was in the service for 2 years.
We live in Minneapolis.
We live in Minneapolis at 7500 York at this time.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Okay.
Okay.
Say your name.
Orpha Lumsdahl Hildy. and I didn't graduate, and I live in Lindstrom, and the name of my spouse is Harry. Okay, now you go ahead. You tell them your name.
My name is Harry Hildy, and I graduated from high 40.
1940.
Do nothing.
You work for Honeywell.
What's a plumber by trade?
Hello, my name is Warren Gibson. I graduated from Ulen High School in 1939. I currently live in Alexandria, Minnesota with my wife, Rose. I was fortunate enough to be a banker and had no charge-off loans or anything like that. I enjoy golfing, and we've enjoyed going to Arizona every winter, which has been most pleasant. Thank you.
Okay. Pardon? Harold Lundy. Yeah. Harold Lundy. You read. Yeah. Harold Lundy in 1940. Live at Lake Park. Farming.
Well, my name is Owen Brossett. I live here in Ulen. The name of my spouse is Darlene. I was a farmer most of my life. Yeah, spent a couple of years in World War II in the Army. Yeah. Yeah, well, I was mechanic. Infantry and mechanic. Yeah. Okay.
I'm Catherine Nelson. I was Catherine Fugly. I graduated in 1940, and I still live in Ulen. I'm a widow. My husband was Orland Nelson, and we were dairy farmers for several years. We have 4, and they're all adults.
Stay here. Okay, I'm Mae Forsyth. I was Mae Freed, graduated in 1940, still live in Ulen. Don Forsyth was my husband. And I was a school teacher. We had 3 boys, and hobbies, I guess you'd say art, and we were Navy people for 21 years.
Lorraine Lundy. I graduated in 1948. My husband is Harold Lundy. And we were farmers for many years at Lake Park, Minnesota.
My name is Irma Ashmore Hendrickson. I graduated in 1948. I live here at Ulen, Minnesota, and I have no spouse. I was a nurse's assistant at St. Mary's Hospital, or St. Vincent's Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana for 30-some years. My children are Bobby, David, Shelley Lunder, and Lorna Berry. No hobbies and no military service.
Okay, my name is Gloria Bergstrom. I graduated in 1948. I live on a farm by Twin Valley, Minnesota. My husband passed away a year ago. His name was Harold. I was a teacher for 22 years. I have 4 children, 4 in-law children, and 8 grandchildren. I love to crochet and do counter cross stitch.
Do I give my maiden name? Janice Fugly Docken, 1951. I now live in Caledonia, Minnesota. My husband was Manfred Docken. I was an elementary teacher and a high school librarian. I have 4 children, 15 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. I travel a lot. I'm also do a lot of needlework and quilting, and I'm involved in a lot of church activities and musical organizations. Okay.
Okay. My name is Maisel Clementson. I live in Ulen. I graduated from Ulen School in 1938. And I live in Ulen. I'm a widow, and I don't do much in my occupation. I play cards. That's it.
We graduated at 47. Foreign workers.
You graduated in what?
47.
47. Okay, thank you very much, Jim. Okay.
Thank you.
That's right. That's good.
Who are you and what did you do?
What year did you graduate?
38.
38.
What year did you say you graduated?
38.
38. Well, is there, how about 39? Is there many from 39? 1 year. Yay!
39, huh? 1939. Okay.
Graduated in 1939. Yep.
Okay.
And some of my classmates are Roger McDonald. He lives in Portland, Oregon now. And all the others, Melvin Rust is still living. All the others have left us.
You said your name?
Warren Gibson. Did I forget? Thank you.
Warren, you're quite a select group. You represent the whole class.
Yeah, I know. Well,
how about that 40? Class of 40.
40?
Oh,
Okay, well, start with me. Introduce yourself.
You're 40.
We're already
You already had us.
You gotta listen to the people that are talking, otherwise it won't mean anything. Okay.
Already been in.
Okay, that's okay.
That's okay. Mayfried Forsyth. Class of 40.
Catherine Fugly Nelson, class of 40.
Harry, are you going to join us?
Who else? 40?
Any more 40s?
Harry Hildy, class of 40.
Stand up if you can.
Class of 40.
Stand up.
Okay, that's fine.
Owen Bronson, class of 40.
Okay.
You're used to air conditioning. Any more?
Did you get Harry?
Any more class of 40?
Yeah.
I guess not.
We sure knew what was waiting for all the men in class of 40. You all went to the Army, didn't you? 41. How about 41? Stand up so we see.
Okay.
I'm all alone, huh?
Okay, your name and where you live and what do you do, or what's your hobby?
I have a hobby of ham radio, Clayton Ormbrick, and
remember your name now.
and I was just telling Warren Gibson here that we're older than dirt. So we're getting pretty old.
I can't hear him.
I think there's only 2 classmates living, Shelvin Severson and Arlene Mobeck Bordallen. They're still the only ones left in our class.
Okay.
42.
Kind of like in church when they have the second, always say come forward and kneel if you can. And kneel if you can.
Classmates.
Oh yeah, I'm going to stay there. Why are you all hanging on some chairs?
Hey, are you going to introduce yourselves individually now? You start off.
Okay, Ingeborg Ron Asselson.
Okay, how about you?
Dharma Ruckus Lundy.
Gladys Jacobson, Kirkby.
Harriet Wang Hoglum.
Harry Fugly, Lake Park.
Lila Anderson Ricka. Francis Wang Hoganson.
Okay. Very good.
Oh, we know our names.
Remember your name, didn't you?
There's so many of them, they should sing the school song.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm supposed to be standing in front of her because she's not in our class.
Okay, see, that was 41.
That was 42. 40.
Class of 43. Hold your hand up when he's watching.
Who's 43?
43. And who are you?
Helen Tingham Geisler,
Okay. Very good. Where do you live?
Moorhead.
Moorhead? Okay. What was your occupation?
I work for the federal government.
Okay. Okay. Taxes?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is that the only one?
For an IRS over a while, and then the VA.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, class of 44 then. 44? Going once? Going twice? That's it? Okay, 45. Now we're getting something like that, people.
Well, I wasn't graduated in 45, and I joined the Navy. And so I spent my senior year on an aircraft carrier in the Pacific. But then I got back home and went up to MS, got what they call a GED. And Teemanson signed it, so I guess I'm still, I don't know if I'm in the class of 45 or maybe 47 or 48.
Okay. Your name is Winton Fugly.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Very good.
I'm Luther Munson. I graduated in 45, and I've spent my years in the Lutheran ministry and now working in Minneapolis. No longer working, retired, living at 7500 York in Minneapolis. And this is my wife, Ivan L.
Okay. Any more?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay, what's that? Class of 46?
And your name?
I'm Evelyn Ricketts Olson, and we lived in Lake Park for 45 years. We had dry cleaners, and we had a food business, lefsa, tacos, tortillas, potato dumplings, and now I live in Detroit Lakes. My husband passed away in 2008.
Okay. Very good.
Class of 48.
How about 47?
Oh, okay, excuse me, 47.
Okay.
How many are there?
Oh, there's. Okay, we'll get him first, and then we'll get over there.
James Jefferson.
Okay.
Working boy.
And where do you live?
In the Gulf, Washington.
Okay. What was your occupation?
Carpenter.
Okay. Your wife's name?
No.
Your friend's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Betty.
Betty. Okay. Very good. And over here, what is your name?
Leslie Erickson.
Okay.
I graduated in 47 and lived out south of town here. One of the few things I still hung on to my land out there, which is pretty valuable nowadays.
Yes.
Anyway, after school and so forth, I worked around here for a bit, went to service, as I noticed the cap there, and I was a radar technician in Korea. Gotten back, I started farming, and my dad had purchased the Freed farm out here, and that's where I settled down. Farmed there for 20 years, run into a hailstorm, and you name it, lots of things. And so I decided to quit, sold out in 71, went to work for American Crystal Sugar, 23 years. Was a technician, electronic technician for the company, sugar boiler, a number of things. Retired in 91.
And this is your wife,
This
Clarice?
is my wife, Clarice.
Okay, very good.
And we live 3.5 miles south of Glendon on a farmstead subdivision. And, well, we have a big garden. I have a lake place down at Cormant, and we work on that occasionally, trying to sell it, but can't do it. And we have a place in Apache Junction, Arizona. We go there every winter. Been down there now 19 years. So.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Any more in that year? Okay, we're going to 48. Now we got quite a few here, I think, at least 4 or 5.
Okay, let's
I'm in that class too.
get
Justin and Raymond.
one over here.
I'm already giving it mine.
Okay. Okay.
Lorraine Clementson Lundy.
Okay.
I graduated in 1948. And my husband's name is Harold. And we live on a farm at Lake Park, Minnesota.
Okay, thank you. And where are the rest of them? Okay, very good.
Start with Russell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you were one.
Yep,
Okay.
Russ Buris, and I spent 23 years as a county agent, and after that I got involved in politics, and then I went to state as Farmers Home Administration and ended my career down there with 42 years working for the government.
Okay, very good.
Ray Rickus, Babbitt.
Okay,
I was an engineer up at the mines,
I see.
retired.
Okay, very good. And who else do we have? Okay.
Gloria Begg Bergstrom. I married a farmer. We farmed for 56 years. I was a teacher. I taught for 22 years. Now I'm retired. Going to have an options help.
Okay.
Irma Ashmore Hendrickson. I lived in Indiana for 37 years, worked at St. Vincent's Hospital for 30 some of those years. I have 6 children, and I live here in Ulen.
Okay.
You already got me, didn't you?
Well, that's okay. We'll get you again.
Justin Clementson, lived around Ulen almost all my life. Married Muriel Hanson, east of town. Was in the Air Force during the Korean War. A couple of years with Russell over there. We had 6 children, 5 of them living around here, and 4 in Ulen, Hitterdal area. So we got about 14 grandkids. I farmed all my life. But I'm semi-retired. I still live on the farm though, and I do mow the grass. I'm the gopher, I guess they call it now.
Okay, very good. Who else?
There's more down there. Where's the other 48?
48.
Paul, yeah, Paul.
Oh, Paul, here we go.
She was the organist in the
Yeah,
church here.
I'm Paul Ermick, and I've lived in Ulen all my life. I'm 82 now, and I started in the bank and worked there for, I guess, 43 years, and retired when I was 63. And, still living in Ulen.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know what to say.
Thank you.
Anyone else in 48 here? Okay. 49.
Here we go.
Am I the only
Now
one?
stand up so we know where you are. Okay, Arlie, are you all by yourself?
Yep, so far.
Okay.
You're not going to grow any numbers.
Arlie Clementson, my wife Marilyn. We live in Moorhead. I spent 4 years in the Air Force with cryptographic security. Since then, I was an insurance adjuster for almost 40 years. Retired now, doing nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Others in that year? 49?
Jane Austin is here, but I haven't seen her.
Okay, then we go to 50. She was 47. How many 50s? Stand up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy, this is going to take some time.
Okay, let's start over here. Right here.
3 cheers, huh?
Who are you?
Barb Brenna Gilding. I
Okay.
live in Felton, Minnesota. So Ulen is Old Home Week. I've been a housewife and did some waitress work, and everybody's hard of hearing at this age. Anyway, welcome to everybody that's here. It's good to see you all.
Okay, who are you?
David Hildy. I class of 1950. I didn't graduate from here, but they still invite me.
But you graduated in
In
California.
Orange, California. I went out there as a sophomore. And if you want more details, I wrote a little story in the 125th anniversary book entitled Growing Up Norwegian on a Minnesota Farm. And there you'll find out why we went to California.
Okay, 1950. Who is over here? Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Vic Roll, Jack nickname.
Okay.
We grew up in Ulen, married Jeannie Tucker. We lived in St. Cloud about 25 years there. I worked for Norwest Bank in St. Cloud and St. Paul. Archie Olson, which is everybody good luck. Archie's birthday was a few days ago. We attended that. I think that's about it. I guess.
Okay, we'll go on over here.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Sumdahl Roth. I grew up in Ulen and then migrated to Montana. And in Montana, I met my wonderful husband, Tom. I taught in Great Falls. We moved to Livingston, where we now live. And I'd like to introduce my granddaughters. This is Marissa Taylor, And this is Sophia Taylor.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Ardith Clementson Fugly. I married a Ulen boy, and I went to Moorhead State and was a teacher. And we kind of traveled the world, and we've been retired now for 23 years, and they'll live in Arizona and Minnesota summertime.
Okay, next.
Lorraine Moore. And I graduated with these guys.
Okay.
And I went to the cities when I was 17 and worked at 3M for many years. Got married, had 5 kids, and most of them are down in the cities. One is by a farm by Ashby. And in the summer, I'm on the farm where my husband was born, by Ashby, and babysit kids.
Okay. Very good.
That's about what I do.
Okay. Any other 50s?
Everybody was standing.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm Will Manor. I live in a farm east of town here. I'm a retired farmer. And I went to country school for 6 years and came into Ulen school in the 7th grade. And Jack here was the one that showed me the ins and outs of the school system here in Ulen.
Okay. Any other 50s?
Yeah, I'm 50.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to get this one
My
first.
name is Jim Pollock.
Okay, Jim.
I did not graduate from here in Ulen. I went to Crookston that year, and it caught up with me later in service. But I spent a couple tours, or a couple years in Korea. Thank the good Lord, you know. Got back, and since then I've been in aviation. I was a pilot for a while, then I returned into mechanics because of health reasons and so on and so forth. I have a wife, Avis. We have 5 children, and right now I live in Omaha, Nebraska.
Very good.
I'm semi-retired.
Thank you.
I'm Don Peterson. I graduated in class of 50. Went into the education business, spent 10, 12 years as a principal, then the last 26 years in Rochester as a central office administrator. I'm married, have 3 children, and are all grown, and we live in the cities most of the time, but we have a home over on the lake in Alexandria. So
Okay.
that's where we're at.
Very good. Thank you. Any more?
Any more? Okay, let's see.
This is 50. Now 51.
51.
Are they in the other group?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it, huh?
Okay, I guess so.
One more of our class just came in.
Okay.
Where do you want us? Tell about yourself.
Who was that? 1950?
Yeah.
Or you? Your name?
Lorraine Nelson.
And where do you live?
Hitterdall.
And who was your husband?
Donald.
Okay, and he's deceased.
Yes, he passed away last
and what was your occupation? What have you done?
I've been a bookkeeper.
I see, at where? School or?
At the at the elevator.
Okay, how many children did you have?
3.
3. Okay. Anything else? Hobbies?
No, just trying to.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Trying to go from day to day.
Let's have a good hand for all the class.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's kind of interesting who was the most active in our life. Who had the most children in their family? How many have had 5? Hey, raise your hand. How many has had 6? How many have 7? 7? 7? How about 8? Sold 7.
I have 17 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Joanne Schultz-Rinke, graduated in 1954. I live in Moorhead, Minnesota. My spouse's name is Burl Rinke. I still hostess at Perkins in Moorhead.
Well, I graduated from Hitterdall, so I'm not part of this group really, but it'd be 1951. But Elaine is a Ulenite.
And I graduated in 53, and we're retired. We have 4 kids and 7 grandkids.
Okay. You were 9 months old.
Yes.
Almost 10. She had cancer before they were married, and the doctor knew she was going to get married, so
Yeah, hi, I'm Lyle Miller. I'm known as Buddy around here, and I graduated in 1954 from the great school of Ulen High School. I live now in Gig Harbor, Washington. Spent about 30 years in California, and now 17 up in the Pacific Northwest. My wife is Sonia. She's from Los Angeles area, Southern California, and I keep trying to make her a native of Ulen. I've served as a pastor of the Lutheran Church for 46 years, I guess, and served churches up and down the West Coast, and served also as the Bishop of Northern California, Nevada. And hobbies have to do with golfing and an old Model A Ford I've had for, 40 years now. I've restored it. And we have 3 children, 4 grandsons, served in the Air Force, and life has been blessed, and I'm very grateful, and this is my home, and I'm proud of it. Thank you.
This is the class of 56 we're trying to organize here. Anybody taking still pictures at all? That's good. How many more pictures here?
Oh, surely! Well, it's about time. Come on, Shirley, get your... Norma Bjerke used to be.
Okay.
I own Uyghur Elkins. Shirley Moscow.
Okay.
Jim Strine. Ivan LeGree.
Pat Berkeley.
Okay.
Mary Lou Severson.
Edmund Gunderson.
Barb Larson Krabenhoft.
Okay.
Bob Amundsen.
Okay.
Elaine Edmondson Jensen.
Bill Bjerke. Bill Bjerke.
Donna Bjerke Bromley.
Your name?
Ladine.
Okay, Ladine Nichols.
Yes. Adeline.
Okay.
Genevieve Peterson.
Okay, very good. And who are you?
Dr. Knockety. George.
Okay.
Tunes but once.
Okay, Oscar John Severson. Here we go. Okay, thank you very much.
Curly, Chef Curly.
Okay, give me your name.
John Herzog.
And what have you done through the years? And where do you live, and so forth?
Well, we live half the year in New Zealand and the other half in Tacoma, Washington.
I see.
I taught at Pacific Lutheran for over 30 years, and I've always been in mathematics.
Sure.
Been retired 14 years now and enjoying life with my wife.
Very good. How much of that time you spend in New Zealand?
We spend about 6 months each year in New Zealand.
Okay. Your wife's name?
Get over it. Colleen.
Move on. Okay. Very
She's a
good.
New Zealander. That's why.
I got so much noise here, I don't know if I'm picking you up. That's why I'm getting in so close to your face. Thank you. I have a wide-angle lens on here.
I'm Chuck Orwald. I live in Denver, Colorado. I was with the class in 1953. However, I did not graduate. I went in Air Force in 1953 and took a GED test and completed it and got it signed by the Ulen School Board. Milton Rice scored, and I forget the other names. Mary and I, we've had an airplane, and we flew. We were flying from Tucson, Arizona to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and en route, didn't realize I was having a stroke, but I was having a stroke, and my eyes were going blurry on me, and so I kept getting off course, and my wife would look at the GPS and tell me, "Honey, get back over on course."
Sure.
And it kept on. We finally, she steered me up to got me to the Santa Fe. Yes, absolutely.
You were.
Otherwise, I'd have burned those 77 gallons out. And but we made a nice landing. My wife talked me in and showed me where the runway was, and we got down by the grace of God, I would say. And so.
That's very good. Did you talk about any children? Did you have any children?
No, we don't.
Okay. Very good. And you're living in Denver yet? Are you still
Yes. Do you want me to go ahead? We live in Denver, Colorado. I'm retired Army, 22 years. I had part of that time was in the United States Air Force, and have about 12 years of overseas time and so on. And we enjoy retirement. My wife is going to retire in February of this coming year, and we're looking forward to some more good leisure time and being together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
My name is Ione Uyghur Elkins. I graduated in 1956 and I live in St. Paul. My husband was James Elkins, and he passed away in 1978. And throughout my life, I've done office work, like be a secretary and so on. And as I have no children or military service, but for hobbies, I enjoy writing, and I like to bead necklaces. No, I don't speak Norwegian anymore. I stopped that when I started the first grade. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm Catherine Fugly. I graduated in 1961. I live in Ulen, out in the country, 2 miles. My spouse's name is Dwayne Fugly. My maiden name, by the way, was Wagner. My occupation, I don't have one but housewife right now. We did farm. And I did do upholstering for 10 years, and I did do videographing, which I do a little bit, but not too much anymore. I have 4 children. I have all kinds of hobbies, so I'm not even going to mention that. So, okay, that's about it.
I got Dwayne on in the background there.
Okay, Don Rost, graduated 1952. Live in New Brighton, Minnesota. Retired from school teaching, and we spend 6 months in New Brighton, and we spend 6 months in Arizona. Yep.
My name is Frances Thornton, and I graduated in 1954. I've lived in various places throughout the years, but I'm now currently living in Fargo, North Dakota. I was married to Herb Munson. He passed away in 1995. And my occupation is, I guess you can say, babysitting. I still have 3 great sons that I babysit every day. Their ages 10, 8, and 4. And that is a challenge. And I keep looking for a relief sitter, but so far we haven't found that relief sitter yet. I had 2 children, Mark, and he lives in Danville, Kentucky, and my daughter Diane passed away in 2006. And I guess that's all the information I have.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
My name is Dwayne Fugly. I graduated in 1957. I live a mile west and a mile north of Ulen, and my spouse's name is Catherine. We farmed for 30-some years, and I'm retired. And we have 7 grandchildren. I got to think about that a little bit, and we got 2 great-grandchildren. I'm still somewhat involved with agriculture, and other than that, we're doing just fine. Enjoying the reunion.
Full name, Orla Green Myra. Graduation year 1957. Where do you live? Holly, south of Holly, Minnesota. Name of spouse, Howard. What was your occupation? I was a bookkeeper for about 32 years, and now I'm a cook for the senior center. Other children, other information, I had 2 sons and a daughter. My son works for U.S. Bank in Rochester, Minnesota, and my other son works for Farmers Home Administration in Breckenridge. And my daughter is a CEO for Accenture Corporation in this Prior Lake, or cities. And we have a 10-acre farm by Holly, and that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.